All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Axis of Genius podcast. I am David Henry Rickenbach, DH, and I am joined by a very special guest, John Tomlinson, AKA JT, AKA the Double Leo. And what a great honor, and just really just a fortuitous moment to be arriving into this particular just podcast. As we were saying before we turned on the mics here, it feels like this has been a long time coming. And for me, coming into today, it's been nothing short of just the realization of how many things can unfold through consistent effort, through consistent care, through consistent attention to meaningful details. So really, really happy to be joined with you and to have a wide-ranging conversation. And I thought I would take a kind of a play from the Tim Ferriss playbook, which is to ask you, as a leading question here, just to get the ball rolling, who is Neil Pert, and why does the story of Neil Pert have special and significant relevance for us?
Right. Beautiful. Such a pleasure to be here with you, my brother. Long time coming. We've been ideating on this for, gosh, what is years now. And it's so interesting. Right before we jumped on, we were talking about Stephen Pressfield, and he's really kind of been a way shower in the war on resistance, capital R, right? And as soon as you hit the record button, I lost your audio and any visual. And so I missed the entire invocation, and it cleared back up, and I finally could hear you with any level of clarity, just right as you were kind of teeing up the Neil Pert question. So interesting. The resistance interference that showing itself straight out of the gates here.
Wow.
But here we are, crystal clear now. And yeah, Neil Pert. So lifelong drummer, second generation drummer. Father was a very skilled drummer, so had sticks in my hands from, the age of 2, basically. And that was a really deep connection point with my father and me playing the drums together, and just being in the craft of it. Really, really deep connection point that we share. And so he turned me on to Rush as a young kid, and I was listening to the album Exit Stage Left, which has this track called YYZ, which is probably Neil Pert's most notable drum solo, within a track, is the YYZ version on the album Exit Stage Left. So check it out. So I just became obsessed with Neil Pert. I mean, he was, widely known still to this day. Unfortunately, he passed a couple of years ago, but it's still to this day, many consider him to be, at a minimum on Mount Rushmore of drummers, and most see him as, the top of the pinnacle.
Wow.
And so there was a documentary that came out on Neil, gosh, probably 20 years ago. I remember seeing it for the first time in college. And fascinating documentary, also worth watching. But he talks about how when he was kind of at the apex of his career as a player, so Rush was, one of the most popular and or significant rock bands, and I use the latter word, significant, because they were a 3-man band. And so lead singer, a guy named Geddy Lee, also plays the bass, and they had a guy on keys, and then they had Neil on the drums, and just the sound that they were able to produce as a trio was just really something novel. And so that music just really struck me as a kid, and kind of carried me all the way through. Still today, a huge Rush fan, and coincidentally, the call that I have to jump on after we finish here is about a new Rush tour. And my business is placing the non-appearance insurance coverage for Rush's tour. I'm going to have a tour in many, many years. And they're going out kind of for the first time without Neil, which would be really interesting.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So sorry, I'll reel it back in here, but I can
So,
go really, really
so,
deep on
yeah,
my
yeah.
love for Rush
It's so
and
good. It's so good.
the
The
impact that
serendipity
it's
of
had.
that's amazing.
Yeah, the impact that it's had on my life, and like, wow, I'm just connecting this synchronicity that here we are talking about Rush, and literally have to jump from this call to another call about Rush. So
Awesome.
what? Yeah, what a
Hmm.
God wink that is. Yeah. So this documentary about Neil Pert, he talks about when he was at the apex of his playing career
Hmm.
and was already widely considered to be, you know, the most skilled drummer in the game. Um, he basically stopped performing. Not basically, he did stop performing.
Hmm.
And the reason that he stopped performing was that he felt like his playing had reached a limit that was preventing him from deepening the practice. You know, mind you, this guy's already considered to be the top drummer in the world, right? And so he felt like there was a different gear to be learned
Hmm.
around how he played
Hmm.
that felt like it was in more flow.
Yeah.
And he just found himself running into some energetic limitations around the way that he was holding sticks and then moving his way around the kit. And so, you know, got the intuition that, hey, I need to um, completely change and evolve the way that I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
And so he basically took a multi-year period, I think it was 2 years, where he stripped it back down to like the most basic elements of the fundamentals, down to like how he was holding his sticks, right? And he completely changed his stick grip. He was holding his sticks differently, learned how to hold his sticks in a different way that
Hmm.
allowed him to play in a circular motion around his kit. So he felt like he was too linear in how he was holding his sticks, how he was approaching his fills, and how he was, you know, scoring the percussion pieces to Rush's music, just too linear, and felt like he was getting kind of trapped in the confines of this linear view on how he was playing music.
Yeah.
And so he felt like he needed to bring in some more circular motion to where his body could feel in more flow with the
Hmm.
music, and therefore unlock some deeper creative gears.
Yeah.
So this guy, best drummer in the world, made the decision to, you know, retool his golf swing, so to speak, entirely,
Hmm.
and um, then goes on to, you know, have the testimonial that indeed it did, in fact, change the way he played these
Hmm.
songs, change the relationship that he had with these songs that he had been playing a
Hmm.
certain way for 25 years, and
Hmm.
then therefore changed his life in
Yeah.
many demonstrative ways. You know, so I just so love that as a metaphor
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
um, just the intelligence that was coming through
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was more deeply felt than the idea of who Neil Pert, the most famous drummer in the world,
Yeah.
is. You know,
Hmm.
like the intelligence that he was getting uh, was so meaningful to him and so
Yeah.
resonant with him
Hmm. Hmm.
that, you know, he heeded the call and quite literally um, you know, completely revamped and
Hmm.
reshaped himself as an artist.
Yeah.
And therefore was able to find that other gear that he just like intuitively knew was there, but like just couldn't force his way into it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
So,
beautiful. It's so beautiful. And what I want to try to do here is really link the thread from an amazing exemplar like Neil, which once again, this is just such a brilliant and exemplifying story, and really start to turn the dial towards your inner life. And this is something that, I think we'll try to unpack from many different angles as we go along here. But one of the things that I want to really like hone in on is one is like the idea of being at a pinnacle in other people's eyes, but knowing that there's something deeper or there's something that we know is possible for ourselves that maybe a lot of people in our lives don't see yet. And I want to try to bridge this with what we've talked about with the art of learning, but then also what we've talked about with the art of self-belief. And, as someone whom I've had the privilege of being able to like really, be, closely in your corner as you're kind of like following the thread of like, how do you want your life to unfold? I've really gotten to see firsthand.
You are my corner man. I just want to make that point clear. You are my corner man.
Yeah. It's truly, truly a gift. And I think this thread of like, what is the role of self-belief? Because the way I've heard you articulate self-belief has been nothing short of energizing in the most positive sense of it. And then the art of self-belief, how that bridges what we know is possible to like, making it the reality for what is possible. And then also, if I'm not putting too many things on the table, the last thing I'll say here is this: I'm at the pinnacle in other people's eyes, but I know that there's a deeper gear here for myself. And if that's a good enough setup, you can take that where you want to take it.
Yeah. Such good questions, man. And I think that those two things are inherently connected, which is the art of self-belief, which I'm like really now just starting to tune into. So I don't even know how much I have to offer on what the art of self-belief even is in my own mind, but we'll go for it. And then the second piece of this just deep sense of knowingness or belief or desire or cosmic pull towards something even greater being possible, or something even sharper being possible. Just that other gear that I think Pert was making reference to. I think I think any of us that really can touch into the fringes of our highest potential and really kind of taste what's possible, start to kind of get on this path of the pursuit of it, pursuit of what's possible. Like, man, I've really, I'm feeling in my body that there's some potential here for me in some way, in some area that is possible. Like, wow, what is that? How do I find my way to it?
Yes.
And that's really kind of the TLDR version of the work that you and I've been doing for the last 3 years, and which I want to talk more about that and kind of the stages of that work that have just now got us in a position where talking about the art of self-belief and the call towards really actualizing full potential, creative potential, your unique soul coding potential in life, how that can even become possible, right? Because so many people, me being one of them for, my entire life up to this point, feel the pangs and then just get overtaken by the story structure on why it's not possible and why I'm not worthy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
And so, how many people are laying on their deathbed at 90 years old imparting the wisdom like, oh man, I wish I would have believed in myself in that moment, and I would have said yes to starting this business, or I would have said yes to ending this toxic dynamic in my blah, 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 right? But like just ultimately threading it back to self-belief, just didn't have the self-belief to be able to trust, capital T trust, in their truth. And I think that, man, it just feels clear to me that when you are able to receive these pangs of, or transmissions or lightning jolts, it can feel like to me, of this just like deep primal knowingness awareness around what's potential for your life.
Yeah.
Man, I just think that gosh, that then really opens the door for a level of trust that, like, that being true, capital T true, that being your unique truth, touching into potential that is unique to the design of your soul, right? And you just know it. If you felt it, you know it, you know? It is palpable and just tastes different. And that then can become your reality, I truly believe, by having the self-belief that this is your truth, right? That this is me showing up most honestly and truthfully who I am in life, right? And that, unfortunately, requires a serious fucking act of courage, right?
Yes.
To be able to stand completely naked and say, this is who I am. These are the unique potentialities that I have in my life and for my life.
Yeah.
Here I am completely owning them, right? Completely committed to the act and the art of actualizing them.
Yeah.
That, like, holy shit, this is scary as fuck, you know? It requires every ounce of courage that you have in your body. And then some, you know? So man, I feel like these things are, like, so closely threaded together, and it's like, it's no surprise that as my aperture for self-belief has started to expand from, like, you know, microscopic levels. Not true. For whatever reason, divinely oriented only is the explanation, is the only explanation. I have been able to tap into states and periods of self-belief that were just enough to quiet the bullshit. And the bullshit is usually what was on stereo, you know, and was usually what was driving the bus in key elements of my life, the disempowering narratives. But every now and again, man, I could bust through those motherfuckers with some deep self-belief, and quite literally is how I survived. It's how I built my business. It's how I had an athletic career, et cetera, et cetera. And it's how I now sit here today, having spent the last however many years doing really deep emotional recovery work. Like, it's taken every bit of that self-belief to unhook all these narratives that I was just fucked up and broken, and that my life was meant to be a sufferfest. You know?
Well understood.
Yeah. And so, you know, I'm just now, after the work that you and I've done together, which has been just extraordinarily revolutionary, just now starting to tap into, like, any remote amount of self-belief that would allow for me to, like, really embody and actualize what I'm really feeling like is my highest potential in this life. And this highest potential that I feel is a big motherfucking vision for impacting lives and leading and teaching and really fully embodying what is possible for men and women, specifically men, which is the experience that I have had in this life, you know, and it's really just a function of connecting into the truth of the potential to then be able to unlock the self-belief, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the desire to bring the potential into being is such, man, I just am such a deep believer in
Mm-hmm.
our capacities for self-belief that
Mm-hmm.
can just bring the motherfucker to reality, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there
Mm-hmm.
have been certain experiences that I've had throughout my life that were completely transformative in so much as I was able to connect in the experience, and I think probably most importantly, be able to connect the somatic experience of the physical experience that I was having
Yes.
of, wow, my self-belief is something that is uniquely powerful,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm seeing that being an advantage for me. Wow, I'm believing in myself a little bit more than this person is trying to tell me what I should do or what I am or what I am not.
Mm-hmm.
And being in the business world and being on leadership teams and being on executive leadership teams and, running businesses, being one of the ones that was, at the table running big businesses, I was able to experience
Yeah.
and see that, like,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else out here is just making this fucking shit up too, man. Just like
Yeah.
I am sitting here at this table feeling like an imposter.
Mm-hmm.
I sense that this person is too,
Yeah.
because the decisions they're making and how they're trying to lead this place is like they're just making this shit up. And the only reason that they're also at this table is because they too have found a way into some self-belief that has allowed for them to increase the size of their influence and their impact and their platform, right?
Yeah.
So I learned that, like, man, this is really just like a self-belief game that's happening
Mm-hmm.
here
Mm-hmm.
in the context of the business world.
Yeah.
But, I think that you lay that over the creative world, and there's this um, there's this readout that has just kind of gone viral in the music world. And it was a record executive at one of the majors. And he was giving a talk here in Los Angeles a couple of months ago. And he went on this really amazing riff about how when they're scouting talent, they're not looking for vocal range. They're not looking for, quality of the musicianship. Sure, all those things are important. But when they are signing new talent, they're looking for the condition of that person's nervous system.
Wow.
And what is the nervous system construct of this individual?
Wow.
Because the the artists that make it are the artists that can calibrate their nervous system to nobody caring for
Yeah.
a long time,
Yeah. They're gonna have to go
right?
through a gauntlet. They're
You're
tracking
gonna
for
have to
that.
go through that, right? You're gonna have to calibrate your nervous system to the fact that nobody's gonna care about your music. And further, people may really have an opinion about your music that has triggered them for some reason
Yeah.
that is hard for you to hear.
Yeah.
So therefore, your nervous system
Mm.
had best be able to stand in that.
Yes.
And the way that that happens is solely and purely through self-belief, man.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate foundation. How deeply do you believe
Mm-hmm.
in your artistry? And how
Mm-hmm.
deeply do you believe in these pangs of higher potential that you've had come through in your life that have you even showing up here as an artist, right?
Yeah.
It's something very deeply that you believe in yourself and that you see as a potential for your life that
Mm-hmm.
has you even showing up,
Yeah.
for the meeting at the record label, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so, yeah, man. So I will submit that at this particular phase
Hmm.
of the recovery journey for me,
Yeah.
it just is all coming back to self-belief
Yeah. Yeah.
and how deeply can you believe in yourself
Hmm.
to truly live the life that you want to live
Yeah. Beautifully
and
said.
not be masquerading as somebody, and I'm speaking from first person here, not be masquerading as somebody that's achieving at high levels and by all accounts crushing life, but silently being crushed at the soul level
Yeah.
by knowing that you're not living fully in your capital T truth.
Yes. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I'm so glad you landed us here because it's really a full circle into something I really wanted to get to with you. And just for all the listeners, when JC's saying his recovery journey, he's not talking about being an alcoholic and recovering.
No.
Man, it's a healthy man.
Yeah.
We're going for something a little.
Although I probably did meet the definition of functional alcoholic for from the ages of 18 to 24. But yes, this is talking about the recovery of my nervous system, the recovery of my creative self, the recovery of belief in myself,
Yeah.
and the recovery from really intense grief and trauma in my life.
Beautifully said. It's a very important distinction. And I want to see if we can go a layer deeper here to really keep honing in on exactly what you're pointing to around the art of self belief. And the entry point that I want to try to take here is around this word, the pursuit.
Mm.
And one of the things that we've shared a lot around in terms of our inspiration and just like really honing in on following these threads into the inner world and to get to the heart essence of what's important and why is the story of the Lion's Tracker's Guide, which I think has
Mm.
had a special kind of mythopoetic resonance because you have a double Leo sign, which you might want to touch on for the audience as well. But specifically within the Lion's Tracker Guide, what I get is this mythopoetic imagery, and it's important to touch on too, I think, because what you've accomplished in the business world is no small feat. Like where you are in terms of the pursuit and that self actualization, I think gives you a really unique position to speak from. And for those of you who are listening, who are being introduced to your world for the first time, I think it's an important context to really be able to appreciate like where some of these words are coming from. But then, two, what I want to get into in the pursuit is the evolution or the change of the
Mm.
pursuit.
Yeah.
Because, it's one thing we often hear, when people say like a certain level of success is hollow or a certain level of fame is hollow, these become somewhat of like a platitude. And we don't necessarily know if there's a there. But then there come times in life where we recognize that we pursued something, we achieved the pinnacle of it, and we had whatever satisfaction, whatever happiness, whatever goodness is there. But then the horizon expanded, and then we needed to track and pursue the next thing that's like, really taking us into the marrow of life. And so I have a number of notes here in regards to like different things we'll link, leak. I like that as a little Freudian. So
I like that.
link
I like
in,
that.
we'll leak it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. As we go along here, but
I think
maybe
these are the things that we're wanting to like leak out to our fellow brothers now, right?
yes, yes,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. So maybe if that's a good enough setup here, you can take it away on that.
Yeah, I we'll start with kind of the setup of the frame that pursuit, pursuing something is something that I am just inherently coded and geared and wired to do in this
Hmm.
lifetime.
Hmm.
As you mentioned, my astrological signature is Leo in the position of sun and in the position of moon. And then I've got Scorpio in the rising. So, really powerful doer astrological signature. A lot of doing happening in all of that. And
Hmm.
so, with that, becomes or is this just inherent love and excitement for, and quite literally completely within the coherence of my design to be in performance. And you read anything about the Leo signature, it's born to perform, right? And so I've got that sitting very congruently in sun and moon, so that's 2x the desire to perform. And where that has become exceedingly tricky for me, and sadly for many, 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 many years, really destructive to my nervous system, was conflating performance for the desire of it and for the love of it, and because I'm just uniquely meant to be on this earth as a performer, with this needs-based, what I like to call it. If we kind of split the act of performing into two different things, kind of the both sides of the spectrums here. So the polarity of it is performing for the love of it, and performing from a needs-based mindset. And what I mean by needs-based mindset is I'm not worthy if I'm not performing. I'm not seen if I'm not performing. I'm not respected if I'm not performing. That's what I like to kind of call needs-based.
Powerful distinction.
And man, those lines can get blurred so easily for me, to the point where I can't even make a distinction between when I'm doing something for the love of it and when I'm doing something because, gosh, I'm just needing some fucking validation. Please see me, God. Please see me. Let me perform for you so you'll see me. Which is, tragically the family system that I grew up in, man. It was just it was a performative hierarchy, and I learned, and that goes many generations back in my family. And, it's a wound that has been carried on and carried on. And we all learned really quickly in our little micro family systems that to mean anything, you needed to be out there performing, And so I learned how to perform, bro. And learned how to perform really, really well. And by the great good fortune and blessing of God, I was athletically inclined. And so I, learned how to excel as an athlete, which was really, really fucking important in my family. And I learned, very, very early on that gets me a seat at the table, it's through this work has been just such amazing reflection and it's just across my athletic career and then across my business career, that the only ways that I have ever been coached and led is you gotta be the absolute best at this or it doesn't count, basically, right? Like, how good can you get and how quickly can you get good? Right? And man, that's been such an imprint over pursuit and performance, And so even in the pursuit of something, these same narratives can play out. Like, this has got to be huge and I got to go big with this and it has to make me a bunch of money and it has to impact a ton of people. It's like, wow. Is there anything in that feels like for the love of it? Right? Or is that just completely informed by it has to be big? Okay, why does it have to be big? What is that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
man, like, oh gosh, it really feels like some validation that I'm longing for.
Mm.
Here I go again, needing for a big group of people to tell me how important I am, right?
Mm. Mm.
Here I go again, like really honestly feeling the ability to love myself more deeply when I see other people appreciating me and respecting me and validating me, right?
Yeah.
Whew,
Yeah.
owie, owie,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
man, so it's yeah, so pursuit and performance, which I can kind of mean the same thing to me. I mean, I think we
Mm.
can talk about the differences of the two, and it's important to talk about the differences of the two, or to really
Yeah.
feel the differences of the two.
Yeah.
But it's it's really unhooking these narratives around not being worth anything unless I'm pursuing something, some huge goal or task,
Mm.
not being worth anything if I'm not performing at some crazy level that like wows people,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and really returning to, coming back home to
Mm.
the art of performing for the motherfucking love of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just because I am so deeply into this craft
Mm-hmm.
of storytelling or making music
Mm-hmm.
or writing or
Yeah.
whatever it may be,
Yeah.
that I have completely lost concept of space and time because I'm so deeply in the joy of this craft,
Mm. Mm.
right?
Mm.
I am doing this. And by the way, bringing forth enormous amounts of life force in my output, performing this craft, because it's just like the essence of who I am and touching into these capital T truths on what brings me joy in this life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, another story that is such a good one that I love to tell because it like drives home this point just so well, I
Mm.
think, is
Mm.
is Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers.
Mm.
Um, Legendary band. I grew up on the Allman Brothers. My dad had me listen to the Allman Brothers when I was, 6, 7 years old. Um, and Greg Allman had just this huge voice, man. Just like this was Southern rock,
Mm.
improvisational jam band. So like jazz in its roots. So you know how much I appreciate that. You do too, right? These guys were some jazzy motherfuckers, but they were like Southern rock. So novel concept when these guys came onto the scene.
Mm.
And like they were dressing different and the music they were playing was different. It was two brothers, Greg and Dwayne Allman. And like anybody from the South, just, well aware of these guys and the impact that they had on the music scene and just culturally, being a novel concept. But
Mm.
Greg sang,
Mm.
it's like almost like a Southern gospel, just like huge vocals.
Mm.
And somebody asked him, he was being interviewed by, one of the trade publications, Rolling Stone, somebody like that. And this was later on, in the game for him. And somebody asked him, like, how have you never had vocal problems?
Mm.
Most singers, and especially like the big, huge voices that have been out there singing for a long time, like every one of them's had vocal problems, man. Like have had vocal surgery and that kind of thing. It's just what happens if you have a big voice and you're out there singing your ass off for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he never had vocal cord problems, never. And so the interviewer was like, how do you explain that? How have you been able to do this? And everybody else has, had issues. He's like,
Yeah.
why would I have had issues with my vocal cords?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the interviewer was like, well, because you're out here singing your fucking ass off every night, And like, it sounds like you're shredding your voice cords.
Mm.
He's like, bro, like, this isn't coming from my vocal cords, man. Like the sound that I make, bro, is like coming
Mm.
up through the earth, through the soul, and it just like
Yeah.
happens to pass through my throat. Like, vocal cords don't have anything to do with them, brother. Like this is coming from somewhere completely different.
I
And
love that. Yeah.
it's so good,
That's
man.
so good.
It's just
Yeah.
like, that is That is the capital T truth.
Yeah.
That is the highest potential. That is these other things we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That is performing for the fucking love of it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That just takes you into this place where
Hmm.
the life force and the energy, and the creative force is limitless.
Yes, yes.
You know?
Oh, so beautiful. And it just brings to light something I really want to jam on with you. You know, we talked about the Gospel of St. Thomas. You know, if you bring forth this within you, it'll save you. If you don't, it'll destroy you. You've already touched on now multiple scenarios in which like the nervous system conditioning, the nervous system recalibration is mission critical. And what I really love about this story so much is it's not about like full power or not full power. It's about where is the power coming from.
Yeah.
And this is something we've been on like tracking on for like really a long time in regards to like how do we connect to say like that double Leo like full power in such a way that it's like running on like completely clean fuel or like completely like I love what you
Yeah.
said. It's just passing through my vocal cords. It's coming
Totally.
from somewhere way fucking deeper. This is
Exactly.
just like the medium that that's working on. And so
Totally.
like I really want to tap into this because you've been on such an exceptional learning journey with this. And maybe this is where we start to bring in the grassroots mindset, or maybe you have some other things that you're cooking on here. But like,
Yeah.
I really see you like cracking the code on this in a way that to me is of the essence of what I would consider true maturation. I would consider it true adulting. I would consider it like if we were going to be a little bit like poetic here, it's like this is the difference between like what an amazing aged wine is versus like shitty aged wine. This is the difference of like longevity. It's like
Yeah.
it's like how we crack the code so that we become initiated in a way where it's like this is really fucking good versus
Yeah.
all the other stuff. And there's maybe some stuff there on like the difference between walking the talk and just talking the talk. And so I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's hone in on that one, man. Yeah, we can just kind of work our way backwards.
yeah.
Yeah, I really love how you laid all that stuff out. Um, really beautifully done. And the benefit, let me just say this really quickly while I'm feeling it. This has largely been the exact format that we've had in our coaching, your coaching of me, the container that we have the last few years, where we're just asking these big motherfucking questions, and then digging our way down to the truth, capital T, which has required a lot of digging into the core of the earth being your deepest wounding. Right? And yeah, I just want to make this point that I'm sitting here today as somebody that was really, really suffering in life, and so deeply and so numbed to it because it was so motherfucking painful as a child that I was not even tuned in to the fact that the potential that I could feel, that still the soul showing up, just like, please feel this, please. Man, it just really gets me going.
Yeah, I'm getting chills. I feel
Please,
it.
please, the soul saying, please know this about you.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Despite what everybody else is saying, and despite what society's telling you, and this teacher that's fucking terrible is how she's traumatizing you, etc. This coach that's a motherfucking, wounded little child running around that's coaching men and wounding the fuck out of them, right? Like, just
Yeah.
please know this about you, and man, being able to get down to the core of the earth like that into the wounding, which is just really smothering the capital T truth about who you are.
Yeah.
It's what these wounds are doing. It's just smashing the capital T to a lowercase t, and like you think that might be true, but like God, I have so many of these other stories that say otherwise, you know?
Mm.
And getting into those stories and the wounding that those stories come from is like the keys to the motherfucking kingdom.
Yeah.
It is the only way that I'm able to sit here today, having done years of this work now, and showing up every motherfucking week and being willing to fucking tear my heart wide open, because if I didn't, my heart was going to stop beating. It felt like it was life or death for me to start living this more deeply expressed, capital T, truer life.
Yeah.
And man, it has been such a journey from first really, really starting to tune into the suffering, probably like around when I turned 40. It's like, oh fuck, man, okay, I'm 40 now, and like I've accomplished a lot, man, and I have so surpassed any expectation that I ever thought was possible for me. Like I'm living a life in so many ways, so many performative ways, and so many you know, materialistic ways, having things and living in a certain type of house and driving a certain type of car and vacationing at certain places in the world, blah, blah, blah. Like, man, all of the trappings of a guy that's like out here smashing it, And yet my nervous system was a fucking disaster, And it has taken this explorative multi-year journey back into the stories of the wounding to get to the wounding, to nurture the fuck out of that wounding, really clear and heal the wounding. To the point where that capital or that lowercase t truth makes its motherfucking way into a capital T truth, you know?
Yeah.
And you can really start to self-believe your way. I love self-belief being a verb. I love it in its verb tense. Like I think I hold self-belief as a verb that's verbing, Like this is something that I am actively fucking doing here. I am choosing to show up and really radically believe in self as much as I fucking possibly can. Because I've identified the fact that is what brings this capital T truth into manifest in real life. Like that's what brings this thing forward. It requires every single bit of self-belief that I possess in my body and beyond. Like I gotta deepen my motherfucking apertures for self-belief on the daily, because work that I'm wanting to do now with this kind of new vision for my life is taking me into some really unknown and unfamiliar and uncomfortable territory, which is reclaiming my artistry. And not just like, being a very prolific business builder running in shadow to my artistry, right? Like I view music as such a key part of my artistry. Like, will look you in the eye and tell you with a straight face that I was born to make music. I've been making music since I could hold drumsticks, and no surprise that I found myself building a business that sat just right outside the music biz. In the music biz, a business that provided a service to the music biz, but not me and my artistry as a creative in the music biz, Yeah, and it's so wild how I went to really extreme lengths and endured an enormous amount of suffering by feeling crushed and just completely not believing at all and feeling crushed by the true artist that I knew was in there, but just like
Yeah.
had no belief at all, you
Yeah.
know? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
just I
Yeah.
had so many things happen across my life where I was really wanting to lean into the artistry of drumming in particular, and it's basically like, no, you're an athlete, bro. Like that's what happens in this family, and stop with that. Stop with that nonsense, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now I'm in a position where I'm saying, fuck you. No, that is who I am. That is my capital T truth. And I'm bringing this motherfucking shit forward,
Let's go.
And I'm finding that my self-belief as an artist, my self-belief as a biz guy is like 10 out of 10, bro. Like I can fucking get in there. I've built businesses. I know that game, man. I know it. You know, highly proficient, very confident in the biz world.
Mm-hmm.
But you put me on the creative sides of the mic, it's like, motherfucker,
Love it.
joke.
Let's
Get me
go.
back into my business.
Oh,
I'm meant to be in like I'm fuck it. I'm just like a creative corporate guy.
no.
And the reality is that I've had the success that I've had as a business guy because I show up to meetings fucking looking like I got a nose ring and looking like that, tattoos on my arms and shit, right? And I've been in the insurance brokerage world, which is like the fucking like starchiest, like bleh, fucking unexpressed men and women out there,
Yeah.
that are really deeply playing this performative game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so loud to me now
Yeah.
being in this business because I've just sold my business, hallelujah, that I've been building for the last 25 years and just sold it October 1st of last year for the express purpose of being able to work my way into living my creative expression.
Yay.
Look how hard of a time I had even saying that, right? Like I don't even know how to even say, like, what am I doing again? Well, shit. All right.
So good.
And
So good.
it's just crazy to really feel
Yeah.
the nurturing that little inner
Mhm.
artist young guy
Yeah.
wants and needs
Yeah.
to be able to bring this vision forward,
Yeah. Beautiful.
and
Beautiful.
so yeah, man, so it's really a function of like the work that we're doing now. Over the arc, we have finally arrived at the place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll say finally, like it's taken us too long. We have very beautifully arrived at the place where we can now start to hone in on bringing the potential to life.
Yes.
And we're able to do that because we've unhooked a lot of these stories, and
Mm-hmm.
we have come to understand
Mm-hmm.
that performance is available for the love of it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be this other icky, heavy, fucking burdensome thing, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that is the energy around performance for the love of it that will bring this creative expression forward,
Yeah.
right? Like
Beautiful.
I'm not I'm 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 not going to be able to
Mm-hmm.
tell the story that I want to tell or produce the music I want to produce or DJ the festival that I want to DJ from this place of like performative need based, like, oh, I hope they, is anybody like it? Oh man, dude, what am I sounding like? Oh, here you go again. Sound, like
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it just doesn't motherfucking work.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Right? Which is why every human on this planet, including me and you, are so attracted to pure artistry because you can just feel it. Like it has no fucking bullshit attached to it. Like this is
Yeah.
somebody that is just like so deeply in their expression.
Yes.
You know, and like this
Yes.
quote, I so fucking love this quote. It's just so true. And it's like, has been a real staple for me to come back to again and again and again throughout my career is people pay a lot of money to watch other people believe in themselves.
Mhm.
Like, boom, right? Like, people pay a lot of money to watch other people believe in themselves
Yeah.
because the magnetism is unbelievable. And everybody wants to feel that and experience that for themselves, right? And so to be able to bear witness to somebody else doing this, like, yes, give me more of this guy or this gal. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
100%.
like, man, how do we all equip ourselves
Hmm.
to show up in life like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Beautifully said.
To
Yeah.
where like
Yes.
you're the person that everybody else talks about, like, God, man, I just love being around that person. Like, man,
Yeah.
he's just best fucking energy, or just I love his vibe, you know, like I
Yeah.
just and those type of people are getting that kind of response because they are really deeply rooted in their capital T truth and they're
Yeah.
believing in themselves
Yeah.
to
100%.
some degree,
Yes. No.
right? At least to some
To a
degree.
great degree. Yes. To a
Yeah.
great degree.